Can I 100% and get every achievement in Batman Arkham City? In this video, I'll be attempting to get every single achievement in the base game of Batman Arkham City whilst also 100%ing it. I recently played through the whole of Batman Arkham Asylum and really enjoyed it, so I thought it would be the next logical thing to move on to this game. If you liked Batman Arkham Asylum, you're going to like Batman Arkham City. It's basically just an improvement on everything from the first game. I played this when it first came out, but only really concentrated on the main story and sort of ignored all the additional content. This time, I'll be also playing through this, making sure that I get every achievement that I can get to 100% the base game. Alongside this, I'll also be playing through Harley Quinn's Revenge, trying to get every single achievement in that too. I've recently hit 100 subscribers, and I really appreciate this milestone. I know compared to others, it's not the highest, but it's a cool milestone to hit, and like I said, I really appreciate it. If you aren't a part of these 100 amazing people, then please subscribe and leave any comments on how I can improve these videos and any games that you'd like to see in the future, really. And with all that done, please enjoy me getting all the achievements in this amazing game. Unlike Batman Arkham Asylum, you start the game as Bruce Wayne. Throughout the entirety of Batman Arkham Asylum, you don't play as Bruce Wayne once, so it's a nice little mix-up compared to the first game. Here, you've been captured by Hugo Strange and placed in Arkham City. Arkham City is an area of Gotham that's been cordoned off, that's been treated as sort of like a mega prison. Within the walls of Arkham City are all of Batman's greatest foes, as well as the political prisoners who have pushed against Hugo Strange and all of his colleagues. Hugo Strange also makes it very clear that he is aware that Bruce Wayne is the Batman. Once we get within Arkham City's walls, we come across our first of Batman's greatest enemies, the Penguin. He and his goons jump Bruce Wayne, but in true Batman style, he breaks out and deals with the Penguin in one swift punch. Bruce Wayne now needs to become the Batman, and by getting to the rooftop and getting this suit, I get the achievement, I'm Batman. After getting the Batman suit, we are now fully able to explore Arkham City and do whatever we want. This is when we hear over the radio that Two-Face has got Catwoman hostage in the courthouse. Knowing Catwoman, Batman feels that she'll have a full understanding of what's going on in Arkham City, so heads to the courthouse to save her. In the courthouse is Two-Face and all of his goons waiting for the public execution of Catwoman, who is caught stealing some of his items. This gives Batman the perfect opportunity to show off of some of his impressive fighting moves and rescue Catwoman. After doing this, you'll get the achievement Acid Bath. After leaving the courthouse, we learn of some medical volunteers that have been taken hostage by Harley Quinn. It's very clear from this early stage that Batman is going to have a very busy night. We head over to the church and find the medical volunteers that Harley Quinn has got held hostage. After getting a good sort of tutorial on the combat aspect of this game, this gives us a perfect opportunity to learn about the Predator aspect of this game. Using stealth, we save all of the hostages and then get the achievement Saviour. After concentrating on the story for a bit, it was time to do some of the side missions. Unlike Arkham Asylum, this game is full of side missions, and to get 100% you have to do all of them. One of these are the AR Night challenges. These consist of gliding challenges that progressively get harder and harder. Some of these are really quite tricky and can take a while to get the hang of, but if you just keep going for it, you will get it done eventually. The benefit of completing these challenges is that after you complete them, you'll get a grapnel boost upgrade, which is very helpful for the rest of the game. This therefore means I'd recommend trying to get this done as early as possible. Alongside the boost upgrade, you'll get the achievement AR Night. When traversing around Arkham City, you can find the street that Bruce Wayne's parents got murdered, creatively named Crime Alley. When you venture down here, you'll find the outline of both Bruce Wayne's parents where they got murdered all those years ago, which basically started the story of Batman. If you interact with this, you'll get sort of cinematic that pans around Batman for a while whilst playing some music. If you let the cinematic play out and the music finish, you'll get the achievement Pay Your Respects. After completing some of these side missions and getting some of the extra miscellaneous achievements, it's now time to continue on with the story. Unsurprisingly, one of the inhabitants of Arkham City is the Joker. The Joker has decided to settle down in the steel mill area of the city. Unfortunately, he's not made it very accessible and we've got to go through the top chimney. Once we get into the steel mill, we'll come across a load of thugs which will pop the achievement Chimney Sweep. When fully in Joker's steel mill, we realise that they've also taken a doctor hostage. Why they've done this, at this point we do not know. After rescuing the Doctor and coming back to the main room near where the Joker is, we come across a one-armed Big Boy. Alongside the Big Boy, a load more thugs jump down and join the fight too. After beating all of these enemies in this area, you get the achievement One-Armed Bandit and can progress to meet with the Joker for the first time in this game. Whilst has been going on with Batman, Catwoman has been getting up to her own adventures in Arkham City. Due to having some of the DLC for this game, I get to play as Catwoman throughout the main story. It doesn't add massive amounts to the main story, and you don't really need to play it, but it gives you a good understanding of what Catwoman's getting up to during this time too, as she gets involved throughout the story. Whilst Batman has been concentrating on the Joker, Catwoman's put her concentration towards Poison Ivy. After getting to her lair, Poison Ivy makes it very clear that she's not a massive fan of Catwoman. Therefore, as in most parts of these games, she sets her thugs on her. After you manage to fight through all of these, you'll get the achievement Arkham City Sirens. A key part of the Arkham games is the Riddler and his Riddler challenges. This is no different in Arkham City and is scaled up massively compared to Arkham Asylum. I think in Arkham Asylum there's around about 150 challenges to complete, whereas in Arkham City there's 400. As you progress through the story a little bit, you'll come to the church, and this is where you get your first riddle. After completing this riddle, you'll then get the achievement IQ test. The next achievement I went for was Storyteller. This achievement's more annoying than tricky, as it requires you to change your date to specific days and then chat to Calendar Man. Calendar Man is located underneath the courthouse, and you can interact with him and he'll just tell you stories. These stories then depend on what day of the year it is, and if you do it on the key holidays and key dates of the year, he'll tell you a different story. Once you've done all 12 of these, you'll then get the achievement. The days that you need to speak to him on are New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, April Fool's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Independence Day, St. Roch's Day, Labour Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day. As I said, once you've done all 12 of these, you'll then get the achievement Storyteller. The issue I had was I'm English, so I put in some of the English versions of the dates, and it didn't want it because it wanted the American versions, so just be aware of that. Although the Riddler trophies and challenges can be quite tedious in this game, it does add a different element compared to Arkham Asylum. This is because once you've completed a certain amount of these, you'll then work out where one of the Riddler's hostages are located. When you then head to these locations, you'll then have to go through a puzzle that the Riddler's set that sort of utilises all the gadgets that Batman has. Once you save each of these hostages, you'll then get an achievement, because it sort of caps off a certain amount of Riddler challenges completed, as well as the final hostage saved as well. The first of these is for completing 160 of the collectibles, and then saving the hostage, which gets you the achievement Conundrum. Batman's interaction with the Joker doesn't go very well. It turns out that after the events of Arkham Asylum, the Joker has become poisoned by the Titan that he consumed at the end of the game. This is killing him, and he doesn't have much time left. In a last-ditch attempt to make the Batman help the Joker poisons Batman with his own blood, meaning that he's suffering from the same thing that he is, if that makes any sense. This therefore means that the Batman has to look for a cure. To do this, we head over to the museum where we know that the Penguin is holding Mr. Freeze hostage, who was at one point working on a cure for the Joker. When we get there, the Penguin is using some jammers scattered across the city, which is stopping Batman from accessing the sort of servers he needs to hack into the museum to let him in. After we go around and destroy 3 of these jammers, we then get the achievement Communication Breakdown.
That was the last jammer.
I made it a priority to complete as many of the Riddler challenges and trophies as I could whilst playing through the game, to leave as little at the end as humanly possible. Obviously you can't do all of them because some of them require specific upgrades and sort of things that you can't get until the end of the game, but I was able to get a good amount done whilst playing through the story missions. This therefore meant that I was able to go after the second Riddler hostage and get myself the achievement Mastermind. This is similar to the previous one, but is a bit easier because you can just use the gadget and you don't really have to do too much puzzle solving or traversing through difficult areas. After breaking the communication blockers that the Penguin set up around the city, it was now time to get into the museum and look for Mr. Freeze. Whilst making your way through the museum, you get to an area called the Gladiator Pit. This is just an area full of Penguin's thugs that gives you a great opportunity to use Batman's incredible combat skills and the great fighting mechanics within this game. This is definitely one of the cooler aspects of the story mode, and it's really fun just to get a great combo and just use all of Batman's great moves. Once you fight through all of the thugs and the Titan that he sends down at the end, you'll get the achievement Gladiator. Once you get to the Penguin in the museum, it turns out he's got a trick up his sleeve as usual. This is Solomon Grundy, who is located underneath the museum. After the Penguin sends us down to where he is, this starts off another big boss fight in this game. It's not the best of boss fights, just basically consists of you avoiding his attacks and blowing up certain areas that then weaken him, that then enables you to wail on him, but it's alright. Once you've done this a few times, you'll get the opportunity to beat him down and then finally defeat him, getting you the achievement Wrecking Ball.
What have you done? You little... You can't kill him!
Whilst in the museum, Batman also discovers that the Penguin has been keeping one of Ra's al Ghul's assassins captive as well. She escapes, and Batman decides it's probably a good idea to track her down to see where she is, to see if Ra's al Ghul can help with Batman's issue about being poisoned and on death's door. After following her through Arkham City, you'll discover Wonder City. This is located underneath Arkham City and has been abandoned for many years, so it's quite eerie walking around looking at all of the abandoned areas. Once you find this, you'll get the achievement Lost and Found. Venturing through Wonder City, we finally get to Ra's al Ghul. Using Ra's al Ghul's blood, Batman thinks that he may be able to reverse the effects of Joker's poisonous blood in his body. For him to be able to give his blood to Batman, Ra's al Ghul makes him go through the Lazarus Pit trials. These are combat and gliding trials that are meant to test Batman's ability and see if he's worthy enough for his blood. The gliding aspect's pretty easy as it's just standard gliding, but the combat can be quite tricky because there's a lot going on and you have to avoid some pretty hefty attacks. Once you complete these Lazarus Pit trials and defeat Ra's al Ghul, you get the achievement Sandstorm. It was now time to go after the next of the Riddler's hostages. Again, there's not really much to say because I've said it in the previous ones, but it's another little challenge to go through, and they progressively get a little bit more difficult as they require you to use more gadgets and sort of things you've learned throughout the game. To fully 100% this game, you have to get every single Riddler trophy and challenge completed, so I would definitely recommend doing it the way I said earlier, of doing it throughout the game instead of trying to leave it all to the end to then go back, because it just takes forever. Once you get this hostage, you get the achievement, the Puzzler. After returning to Mr. Freeze with Ra's al Ghul's blood, it turns out that he's got other motives. The cure that he'd supposedly been working on for the Joker never actually existed, and he was just using this in an attempt to get his frozen wife back from the Joker who'd kidnapped her. This then turns Mr. Freeze against us and creates a sort of cat and mouse scenario where Batman has to avoid him whilst trying to take him down bit by bit. This requires Batman to use all of his gadgets to take more and more damage down before finally finishing him off. What makes this even more fun is the fact that Mr. Freeze learns from your attacks, so you can't use the same one twice. This means that you have to make the most of all of Batman's arsenal, and it just is a really good level. Once you beat Mr. Freeze, it turns out what little of the cure that Mr. Freeze had made has been taken by Harley Quinn back to the steel mill. After all of this, you'll then get the achievement Hide and Seek. As I was nearing the end of the game, I thought it was a good opportunity to go through and complete some of the side missions that are scattered throughout Arkham City. The first of these is one that includes Mad Hatter. Batman is told by Alfred that there's a cure that's been sent out to him on one of the roofs in Arkham City. When you go over to this cure and use it, it turns out to be a drug that has been created by the Mad Hatter that makes Batman hallucinate. In this hallucination, Batman has to fight against a load of thugs that have been drugged by the Mad Hatter. Once you beat all of these and then beat the Mad Hatter, you break out of this hallucination and then finally get the achievement Stop the Clock. The next set of side missions that I went after was based around the villain Hush. Hush is an amazing surgeon who despises Bruce Wayne and is going around Arkham City murdering various people. He's doing this to be able to get parts of people's face to make himself look like Bruce Wayne so he can begin to ruin Bruce Wayne's life. After exploring around the city and discovering the victims of Hush, the Batman is able to locate where the Hush's lair is and track him down. Unfortunately, he traps Batman and escapes. Once this is played through, you'll get the achievement Serial Killer. After collecting yet more Riddler trophies and challenges, you get the opportunity to save another hostage. Similar to the previous hostages, this requires Batman to use all of his gadgets and his know-how to be able to save him. As with the previous ones, it gets more difficult as you go, and this requires you to use more of his gadgets. This also therefore means that they're a bit more fun as they're not so easy. After you save this hostage, you'll get the achievement Intellectual. Like Arkham Asylum, Victor Zsasz also makes an appearance in this game. In Arkham Asylum you don't really have to do much to take him down, but in Arkham City he plays a much bigger role. When you're travelling around the city, you'll hear payphones ringing, and if you answer them, Victor Zsasz will be on the other side. He will tell you that he's got a number of people hostage, and if you don't get to a phone located somewhere else in the city, he'll start killing them. When you get to this phone, he'll then start telling you about his life story and give you some lore around the character. Whilst this is going on, you play a little mini game that allows you to track where Zsasz is located. Once you've done enough of these and find his lair, you then go and hunt him down. After you do this and take him down, you'll get the achievement Dial Z for Murder, finishing off another one of the side quests. After previously defeating Mr. Freeze earlier on in the campaign, you can now do a side mission to help him out. I don't know why Batman feels the need to do this, because he tries to kill him earlier on in the story. This side mission consists of finding Mr. Freeze's frozen wife that the Joker has kidnapped. If you head over to the warehouses near the steel mill, you'll soon find her, and obviously guarding her is a bunch of Joker's thugs. Take them out, return to Mr. Freeze, and the achievement Bargaining Chip will pop. Another one of the side missions that's based upon random encounters scattered across Arkham City is Mystery Stalker. Here around Arkham City, you'll find yourself being watched by a strange figure. If you interact with them, you'll have a conversation and they'll quickly disappear, leaving a weird symbol on the floor. If you do this 4 times and scan the symbols, it will lead you over to the church. Here, you'll find another symbol and determine that the person that's watching you is Azrael. After this final interaction, you'll then get the achievement Mystery Stalker, finishing these side missions. After completing these side missions, it was now time to go and finish the main story of the game. In this, we then needed to return to the steel mill to confront Joker, who had recently just stolen the cure. Here is our first real proper interaction with the Joker, and we get into a fight with him and all of his goons. This fight is run by the Ghost Trains, and after taking out the final Titan thug, you get the achievement Ghost Train. Whilst this is going on between the Batman and the Joker, we cut back to Catwoman. Catwoman is still working towards breaking into Harvey Dent's compound and stealing some riches within there. Before getting into the vault, you have to get rid of the guards that are guarding it. This is through a mixture of stealth and just straight up hand-to-hand combat. Eventually you'll enter the vault and finally be able to get what Catwoman believes is rightfully hers. This is where the achievement will pop. After this, you then get 2 choices that you can make. One of these is going and assisting Batman with saving Arkham City, and the other is just leaving Arkham City as a whole and enjoying the riches that you've just stolen. If you pick the latter, the game just ends and you get brought back to this until you pick the decision, which is assisting Batman. It's a cool little feature, and if you haven't done it before, I'd recommend it, as it plays a cool little cinematic.
Batman is down. I repeat,
Before finishing the game and taking down Hugo Strange, it's time to finish off some more side missions. Bane has a side mission that you can complete that revolves around you destroying Titan containers that are scattered through Arkham City. He wants them gone because he basically wants them to himself. Unsurprisingly, after you destroy the ones that you found, it turns out he's double-crossed you. He's actually been keeping the ones that he was looking for and was waiting for Batman to destroy the others before taking out Batman. Batman is aware of this and captures the Bane and then destroys the remaining containers. This gets you the achievement Broken Toys. Hugo Strange has informed all of his Tiger Guards to start raining hell on Arkham City. This involves just blowing everything up, any person that they see, and just causing absolute chaos. To be able to stop this, Batman has to get to Hugo Strange, who's located at the top of the tower. To be able to access this tower, Batman needs the codes that are located on the helicopters flying around Arkham City currently. After going from helicopter to helicopter and finally getting the codes, this unlocks all of Batman's gadgets and upgrades, getting you the achievement Fully Loaded.
Got the code. I'm heading to Wonder Tower.
Good. You're doing the right.
Throughout doing all of these story missions and side missions, I continued to collect more Riddler trophies and more Riddler challenges. This put me in a position where I could go after the penultimate Riddler hostage. After doing this, you'll get the achievement Brain Teaser and finally be able to locate where the Riddler is hiding out with the final few hostages. Making your way through Wonder Tower to the top to get to Hugo Strange, you have to fight up against many thugs through stealth and just hand-to-hand combat. Some of these stealth sections are some of the more difficult ones that you have to do in the game due to there not being too many hiding places and due to the amount of enemies in such a small area. Once you get to the top of the tower, there are more thugs walking around with heavy weaponry, so you have to make sure to take them out one at a time. Once you do this, you're then able to access the main control room where Hugo Strange is hidden. After getting in there and giving him a good old-fashioned Batman headbutt, it turns out that he's not working alone. Ra's al Ghul has been the real mastermind behind all of it, and it's just controlling Hugo Strange. In true Batman style though, the villains can't work together for long, and Ra's al Ghul kills Hugo Strange. Hugo Strange has a backup plan that then blows up the tower, sending both Ra's al Ghul and Batman flying out of the tower. Batman is able to safely glide down to Arkham City, where Ra's al Ghul takes a bit of a heavier fall on a very spiky post. This gets you the achievement Free Fall. In the final mission of Batman Arkham City, you have to head over to the playhouse where the Joker is hiding out in a final stand. When you get here, it turns out the Joker has been working alongside Clayface to trick you the entire time into thinking that he's no longer ill, when in fact he's getting worse and worse and worse. Obviously this means you have to fight against Clayface. Using the cryo grenades and Ra's al Ghul's sword, you can make quick work of Clayface and all the little minions he spawns from himself. After beating Clayface, Batman is able to get the cure and use it, curing him from the disease that Joker had put on him. Batman makes sure to leave some left over for the Joker, but Joker for some reason attacks Batman, making him drop it, losing the remainder of the cure. This then puts the Joker in an awful position where there's no cure left and he's on death's door. The Joker then takes his last few breaths, leaving his iconic smile on his face as he passes away. Batman then walks the Joker out into the open and places his body on the police car in front of Jim Gordon for everyone to see that the Joker is no more. After this finishes the main story of Batman Arkham City and gets the achievement Exit Stage Right. Once you finish the main story of the game, you're then free to play as Catwoman as much as you want. Alongside the Batman Riddler trophies, there are also Catwoman Riddler trophies scattered around the map. These require you to use Catwoman's specific skills to get to, and are quite good fun to get. The other collectible for this are jewels that have been stolen from Catwoman that are on thugs scattered around Arkham City. These are identified with a jewel symbol above their head. I believe there are around 20 of them, and once you collect all of them, you'll get the achievement Family Jewels. Alongside the Catwoman Riddler trophies, there are Catwoman Riddler challenges. Once you've managed to collect all of the trophies and the challenges, you'll get the achievement Sphinx Riddle. The Catwoman challenges are a little bit easier than the Batman ones because they basically just require you to use all of her gadgets. Once you've done this, this now completes your Catwoman playthrough of this game. After all this time playing through the game, I finally get enough Riddler trophies and challenges completed to be able to take down the Riddler once and for all. As mentioned previously, he's still holding more hostages captive. This time, to rescue the hostages is a bit different because you don't have to use any of Batman's gadgets. To complete this one, you just have to avoid the sight zones on the drones that are driving the hostages around, otherwise they'll explode. Whilst avoiding these, you've got to make your way towards the Riddler, get beneath him, and then take him down. After you've done this, you'll get the achievement Genius, which then finishes off all the Riddler aspects of this game. The final side mission that I chose to complete in Batman Arkham City was a side mission involving Deadshot. When travelling around the city, you'll find people that have been taken out by the assassin Deadshot, and you have to work out why he's doing it, who he's targeting, and where he might be. After locating a few of these people, you'll finally work out whereabouts he's located. After getting to him and then taking him down, you'll get the achievement Contracts Terminated. Another achievement that I needed to get was Aggravated Assault. To get this achievement, you have to stop all the assaults in progress that are happening across Arkham City. These are located all around the city, and you just have to keep an ear out for some sort of thug threatening someone, really. Some of these won't properly spawn in until you've done certain parts of the story, so you can leave it right to the end to go around and find them. As mentioned before, once you've completed all of these, you'll get the achievement Aggravated Assault. Now that I'd completed 100% of everything in the first playthrough, it's now time to do New Game Plus. Unfortunately, for this, you don't just have to complete the main story, you have to complete all of the side missions again, but you don't have to get all of the Riddler trophies and challenges, thankfully. On top of this, it also means you have to play at a harder difficulty, removing any of the counter icons or anything like that, and you'll take more damage. After playing through the story the first time, you should be pretty good at the game, so it shouldn't be too difficult, but some sections are definitely more tricky. Once you finally complete the main story, you'll get the achievement Twice Nightly. One achievement that I was unable to collect whilst playing through the main story and New Game Plus story was Gadget Attack. To get this achievement, you have to use every single one of Batman's quickfire gadgets in one combo. This can be quite difficult because some of them are a bit clunky and not as useful as others. The gadgets that you have to use are the Batarang, the Freeze Blast, the Bat Claw, the Remote Electric Charge, and the Explosive Gel. If you're able to use all of these gadgets in one combo, you'll unlock the achievement Gadget Attack. After completing everything in the main story, it was now time to turn my attention to Harley Quinn's Revenge. This is a DLC pack that I had downloaded alongside the main story that follows Robin and Batman just after the main game. As the name indicates, it follows Harley Quinn trying to get her revenge for the death of the Joker. There are more achievements linked to this game, so I concentrated on getting these next. The first of these was Frequent Flyer. To get this, you have to zip kick 5 different enemies as Robin, which is one of his gadgets that you can use. The other achievement, which is similar to this, is Battering Ram, where you have to shield bash 5 enemies, which again is another gadget. You can do these pretty easily, and when you get them, you'll get the achievement for both of these. Similar to the main game, there's an achievement for making sure that you use every single one of Robin's gadgets in one combo. By doing this, you'll get the achievement A Few New Tricks. In this same area, I got the story achievement Lost Property. This is for locating where Batman's signal is. We then cut back to Batman previously just before he lost his utility belt and went missing. Before he went missing, he was trying to locate Harley Quinn, who was causing all kind of chaos after the Joker has recently just died. She's also holed up in the steel mill but is in a new area which Batman is unable to access, so has to hack in. Once you get full access to this area, you'll get the achievement Breaking and Entering. Going back to playing as Robin, you finally locate Harley Quinn where she's hiding in her lair. This part of the game acts as a Predator mission where you have to take down Harley Quinn's men whilst also chipping away damage at her by doing either drop attacks, sort of sneak attacks and random different takedowns. When you eventually take her down and all of her thugs that are protecting her, you'll get the achievement How's It Hanging. As with all the other aspects of this game, there are collectibles within this DLC. This time it's Harley Quinn's balloons scattered around her lair. I think there's only around 20 of them in total, and they're pretty easy to find if you're looking for them. Once you pop every single one of these with batarangs, or whatever Robin's version of them are called, you'll get the achievement Party's Over. The third and final Gadget-related achievement in this DLC for Robin is Snap to It. To get this achievement, you have to use the Snap Flash gadget on an unarmed thug, an armed thug, an environmental object, and a Titan, all whilst playing as Robin. There are only certain occasions when you can actually do some of these within the game, so if you miss them, you'll have to replay the entire DLC, which can be annoying, so just keep an eye out for these opportunities. Once you do this, you'll get the achievement Snap to It. After taking out Harley Quinn and rescuing the Batman, it turns out that Harley Quinn has rigged the place to blow. She's done this by scattering 3 bombs throughout the entire lair, and it's your job as Batman to go and locate all 3 of these. If you're able to take all 3 of these bombs out within 3 minutes, you'll get the achievement Bomb Squad. If you move quickly, it's not really that difficult to do, and you can find yourself completing this with plenty of time. As a final attempt to take out the Batman and Robin, Harley Quinn sets a load of robots on the both of them. After destroying all of these, it's now time for Batman to confront Harley Quinn once and for all. Unfortunately, she decides to blow up the entire of the lair, almost killing both Batman and Robin. Fortunately, everybody involved survives, and then this ends the DLC. Finishing this DLC will get you the achievement The Last Laugh. After finishing the main story both in normal mode and New Game Plus, as well as Harley Quinn's Revenge, it's now time to move on to Riddler's Revenge. This is very similar to Arkham Asylum, where you have all the different challenges, both Predator and Combat, to complete, and you get medals for certain scores and completing certain challenges within the main challenge. Whereas in Arkham Asylum I really struggled with a lot of these, I found them much easier in Arkham City, and I think this was down to the improved combat and better gameplay of this game. For being able to complete one of the combat challenges without taking any damage, you'll get the achievement Flawless Free Flow Fighter 2.0, which is in reference to the achievement of the same name in Arkham Asylum. Concentrating on Riddler's Revenge, I was able to get 3 more achievements. These were Bronze Revenge, Silver Revenge, and Gold Revenge. These achievements are based on getting a certain amount of medals in each of the challenges, and you'll unlock them as you go. Gold Revenge is for completing all of these Predator and Combat challenges to the highest level and getting the maximum amount of medals. As mentioned previously, it's definitely a lot easier in Arkham City, so it won't take you too long. I've only shown the clip of getting Gold Revenge just because the clips would be very repetitive of me just finishing a challenge and then this screen. The other aspect of Riddler's Revenge is the newly added campaign modes. Whereas I said the challenges in Riddler's Revenge aren't very difficult, the campaign mode is bloody difficult and very annoying. This requires you to complete 3 of the challenges in a row without getting them wrong. You get 4 attempts to complete these, but some of these are very tricky, so will definitely take you more. Alongside this, it also adds modifiers that makes changes to your game, which can also make your game easier or, more usually, harder. These can consist of making vantage points booby-trapped or making your punches even harder. You have to get 108 medals in total to complete all of these, and it's 9 per campaign, so there are quite a few to complete, and as I mentioned, they progressively get harder and harder and harder. Although this is the case, it then is very rewarding when you get them done. Through this, I got the achievements Campaign Bronze, Campaign Silver, and Campaign Gold. Campaign Gold being the last of the ones that I needed to get. This is then the last thing that I needed to get 100% in the whole game, which got me the achievement Perfect Night. The final achievement that I needed to get in Batman Arkham City was Perfect Free Flow 2.0. Again, similar to Batman Arkham Asylum, it requires you to use every single one of Batman's moves in a combo. This becomes significantly more difficult than Arkham Asylum because Batman has quite a few new moves and gadgets to use. To get this achievement, you have to strike, stun, evade, counter, do a special combo takedown, a special combo bat swarm, a special combo disarm and destroy, a special combo multi-ground takedown, an aerial attack, a beatdown finisher, an ultimate stun, a ground and pound, and then use any quick fire gadget. Once you're able to complete all of these in one combo, you'll unlock the achievement.
Level 3, let's stop this.
This concludes this video of me collecting every single achievement in Batman Arkham City. Overall, it's an amazing game, and it just improves on everything of Batman Arkham Asylum. I think because of nostalgia I still prefer Arkham Asylum, and due to the setting of it just makes it feel really eerie and cool, but Arkham City is definitely better in the gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. The only thing that I would say is if you're going for 100% and all the achievements, the campaign mode is real grind and does sort of get to the point of not being enjoyable when you're just trying the same thing trying over and over again and it's not working. The Riddler trophies also add to this grind, but I don't really mind doing all of it and I find it quite enjoyable. But yeah, I would definitely recommend thinking about it before you go for it, just based off the campaign. But once you are able to complete them, it is very rewarding, and it is good fun. If you've managed to make it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. And if you've got any recommendations on how to improve these or any games that I should play in the future, please let me know. If you haven't already also, please give me a like and a subscribe, because it's a good indicator that I'm doing something right and moving in the right direction. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.
Awesome.